Kyler Devin, 01 p.m. Central Time, May the 14th, 2022. The reset is coming, ladies and gentlemen, over there with Klaus Schwab. The World Economic Forum is well on its way to taking over our global network system of everything, including the Internet of Everything, as well as robotics with DARPA and NASA and the DoD and the military and the multinational corporations and the Council of 300, along with the Jesuit Order, along with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, along with the Hillary and Bill Foundation over there, along with many other nefarious players in this matrix, in this New World Order game. And of course, that's what our show is all about. And I want you guys to come by and see our show. We're streaming here on 8 or 9 platforms tonight live. Thanks to Marion Pound, our senior executive producer. And she's also our executive director and field coordinator for our police, fire, and emergency medical disaster respite team here in the Deep South, where we provide disaster management, training, teaching, and search and rescue and trauma coordination throughout the county in case of a major disaster. And of course, we work with all other agencies within those platforms of fire, and police, and emergency medical, hazmat, search and rescue, etc. We have a lot of many different missions here at Global Network, at Destiny Global Communications Network, which is our new brand name, and Lone Wolf Radio falls underneath that, as well as Marion's new e-store coming out the 15th of next month, which is called Sky Hunter Outpost. I want you all to be looking for that. It's got a lot of wonderful products on there, a lot of wonderful things to look at. Very creative page that Marion has spent months building and creating products of all kinds for all different types of people in there. I want to thank my senior co-host, David Ray King, for being with me here on this massive journey in broadcasting alternative media. David's come a long way. He's got a long way to go, but he's learning fast. And I think he's going to work out really well. I have said many times before that our team is very difficult to be on because we are so serious about what we do, and we are very comprehensive in our research and analysis, and our narratives and our commentary that we put out is well researched, and it's well documented with fact and with reports and with unclassified documents from our FOIA requests from many, many different three-letter agencies out there. And we study a lot. We read a lot, and we try to connect the dots for you all where it's not so complex, it's not so spread out. We try to bring everything down into a very narrow focus here where it's easily understandable, user-friendly information, you might say, to those who need to know quickly and not be having to change channels 35 times or 50 or even 100 now that we have these smart TVs that have 1,000 gazillion channels on them. Our show is very comprehensive in the fact that we talk about the latest technologies, the latest science, quantum computing, machine learning, artificial intelligence at all different levels, and chemtrails, and Of course, our water situation we're very concerned about. Still with the fluoride and the psychotropics and pathogens being found in the water supplies all over America, not to mention the dirty, filthy water people are having to drink around the world. As I said, we have many missions, and one of those missions is we're senior citizen advocates. We advocate for those senior citizens who are being abused and neglected in certain nursing homes around the state of Texas. As many of you know, I was a former investigative reporter and undercover operative working to expose Medicare, Medicaid fraud and abuse and neglect of seniors in Texas nursing homes. That show of ours on ABC News 2020 ran all over the world, and we set precedents and we made a lot of changes in the healthcare system, long-term healthcare system at that time. Everything, unfortunately, has reverted back to the same old way it was, which is the way things go. We might need to go in and do another sweep and another expose and another investigation to bring them back into balance and synchronicity and bring the standard of care back up again to where we would like for it to be for our senior citizens. We're also advocates for hospice patients who are being thrown into hospice unnecessarily by this very corrupt hospice system. It has become very corrupt over the last few years, and it's all about the money. Follow the money. When you go into a hospital with your elder and you start hearing the word failure to thrive, be careful. Those three words, failure to thrive, mean that hospice is on the way and they're going to try to scam you into a contract and put your loved one on hospice when they probably do not need to be on hospice. And I suggest that everyone keep their family members at home as long as physically, mentally, spiritually possible and not put them in one of these, what I call holding cells or prisons they call nursing homes. Now, there are some good facilities out there that we praise and that we recommend. There are some folks out there who really care about what's going on with these senior citizens. We still are advocating for higher education for nurse aides and home health aides and companion sitters. We haven't gotten our wish yet on that. We're still working on that to bring them up to par on their anatomy and physiology and gerontology, pharmacology, and just general care of the elderly, especially those with dementia and Alzheimer's. As many of you know, I'm a former emergency medical technician paramedic working on mobile intensive care unit with search and rescue, working in fire, and grew up in the funeral business, embalming, uh, cremating bodies, worked in forensic science, assisting with autopsies and forensic investigations, worked around the homicide team when we had the dead body contract for Dallas County. Learned a lot about homicide. I learned enough to know that I don't want to continue to do it, so I quit getting away from all that crazy, crazy, insane stuff. Also a teacher, consultant, advisor, and I do a lot of counseling with couples concerning relationships. If any of you need that type of counseling, you can email me at dkyler2010 at gmail.com. That's dkyler2010 at gmail.com. I'll go ahead and put that up now so you can write that down. If you need to get in touch with me, you can send me an email and request a Zoom meeting. Um, and we will get together and talk about how all of that works. But you can just email me at dkyler2010 at gmail.com. Our show, you all need to stop by our show Monday through Friday. David Ray King and I are on live over there at Zoom and Restream, streaming live, simulcasting on 7 or 8 different platforms out there in the digital universe. You can see us live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time over there at Zoom and Restream. And we would really appreciate y'all coming by. We have some really great shows. We talk about science and technology. We talk about the reset that's coming. We talk about the credit scoring system that's about ready to happen here in the United States, which the United States is copying China on all of this credit scoring stuff and human capital, as they call it, and securitization. It's a terrible, terrible thing. It's really like a Soylent Green movie on crack is where we're headed here, and George Orwell's 1984 on crack. It's a terrible situation that we're in. We've really gotten ourselves into a mess here. And those lakes and streams that are behind me back there aren't going to be so pretty anymore. And speaking of lakes, we're losing water all over the United States at a very fast rate. People are stealing water, poisoning water. Um, People are damming things up that shouldn't be dammed up and closing towns that shouldn't be closed down because of damming. And deforestation is still a major problem here in the United States. We're not working on renewable energies like we should. We talk a lot about renewable energies and the need for renewable energies such as geothermal and solar and wave power, wind power, um, and other forms of renewable energies that will be here with us and are here with us for a long, long time. You know, we're running out of fossil fuels, contrary to popular belief. Yes, we have a lot here in Texas. We could probably supply the whole world with oil, but do we want to continue to put all of these nasty toxins in everything that we manufacture, put them in our cars, and spew all of that carbon out into the air? Yes, I know we're made of carbon. Carbon's a good thing. But you can get to a certain point. Now we're killing all the fish in the ocean. We're destroying all of these wonderful animals and all of nature because of these strange diseases that keep popping up, like COVID and SARS-1, SARS-2, and NH4 or whatever it is, NH14, NH41, avian flu. Let's just call it avian flu. And God knows what else they're going to come up with next. But yeah, all of you need to be very cognizant of what's coming here in the future because it's not going to be pretty. I believe there's going to be major food shortages coming, and they're coming after your animals, they're coming after your children, they're coming after your property, they're coming after your freedom, and they're coming after your freedom of speech. And as you know, censorship is getting so bad right now that we're not able to have an intelligent discourse or conversation on social media due to the fact that this censorship is so bad. These overlords, this aristocracy, this technocracy, this new world order, this dark state, deep state, they want to control everything in the universe, air, land, and water, and anything that crawls or moves on 2 or 4 or 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 legs. They want to control anything that has breath, blood, or bone. And it's getting to be ridiculous, and it's time for us to fight back. It's time for us to stand up and say enough is enough, and we're not going to take it anymore. Just stop consenting to the bullshit. Stop consenting to the fiction, this fiction we call government. We don't have a government anymore. Multinational corporations are taking over that role. Governments will be subservient to all multinational corporations. They will be running the show over there at Klaus Schwab's organization, the World Economic Forum. So take these things into consideration and take what I'm saying into consideration. If not for yourself, think about your children and your grandchildren, what kind of world they're going to be left with here. We're streaming on Facebook Live and Kyler Davenport Live. Destiny Global Communications Network is our new brand. We're streaming live on YouTube, Alternative Public Radio International, Twitter, Kyler Davenport at DKyler2010, Twitch. We're streaming on Twitch, LinkedIn, and Kyler Davenport, and several other platforms that we probably don't even know about that we're getting out to around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a serious situation. This is a very serious show. This is a very serious mission that we're on here. We're all about education and training and the exchange of information and ideas that will bring a better future for these children and grandchildren. And we need to work a lot harder than we're doing. I think we're running at about 20% of our capacity, and I think we could do better than that. I think all of us could do better. Each and every one of us can do better. Put some more energy into it, put some more thought into it. Do your research, do your homework, read, study, educate yourself as to what's going on, and get off the couch and throw down the Budweiser and put the pizza in the icebox and use your head. Start critical thinking as to just how much trouble we're in here in the United States and on the global scene also. Where this is now a global problem. This is not just a U.S. problem. This is a global problem that we're facing, a geopolitical nightmare that we're facing here, a geological nightmare that we're facing here. It's a catastrophic events that we're looking at, possibly a grid down situation for the United States. There's been threats out of China and North Korea to shut the United States down. As far as the grid down, will be no electricity, no gas, no water. This is going to be a major situation where people will die. Millions of people will die. And if it's not done by a cyber attack, it will be done via an electromagnetic pulse from the sun, a solar flare that comes out just right and powerful enough and in the right direction to shut us down for 6 months to a year, maybe more. You need to be prepared with fresh water and dry goods, and you need to be able to bug in and bug out. And we teach you how to do that. We're preppers. We teach you how to do that um, on this show. And so I encourage all of you to tune in if you're serious about making some changes. Drastic changes need to be made, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to take more than this show to do it. It's going to take 25, 30 million of us to say enough is enough and we won't take it anymore and make the changes that need to be made to bring about the solutions that we need to see, to bring about synchronicity and balance and love and caring and compassion back to this system and make our representatives accountable, both elected and non-elected, accountable for these crimes against humanity that they're committing every single day, along with judges and police and along with all of these other agencies, three-letter agencies that are involved in these nefarious acts and crimes against humanity that are allowing these things to happen and profiting and extorting the people's money to go into this war machine that is becoming out of control as our government has become out of control. This, what we call centralized government, small, efficient government, is no more. It's a global governance, not dominating plan now, along with genocide. And as many of you know, they want to bring the population down to around 500 million by 2026. Some say 2050, some say 2030. But any way you cut it, it's a very nasty situation. And most of you are just dead asleep at the wheel, and you need to wake up. It's time to wake the fuck up and start thinking about how serious this situation is, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot continue to just lay around on this. You can't continue to bury your head in the sand and pretend that nothing is happening because we're at a critical juncture here. We're at a crossroads, and you're going to have to make a decision to go right or left. And that decision is going to be a life and death situation for many of you. And we are all about preparing. We are all about prevention. We don't like to see, as one of my former doctor friends said, the CEO at Parkland Hospital, Dr. Ron Anderson, said, you know, medicine is not about prevention anymore. It's about money. And this is a terrible thing. This is a very terrible thing. We know what happened during the COVID situation when doctors were being paid $14,000 to intubate someone, $22,000 to put someone on a ventilator, whether they had COVID or not. This is ridiculous. It's a crime against humanity. It's against the Nuremberg Code. It's against our constitutional rights. It's against our Bill of Rights, and it's against our natural rights. And I tell you, if any of you decide to come on our show, you better be ready to know what you're talking about. We don't let people come on and just rant, rave, bitch, and moan because we don't have time for that anymore. So be prepared to come on with some very sensible words of wisdom and state your case, and we will give you our comments and our constructive criticism if there might be any, and we will let you know how much research we have done based on the research you have done. We will put those things together and hopefully have a very serious, a very highly intellectual, highly comprehensive dialogue, and we might come up with some solutions together that we haven't thought of before. So that being said, remember, whatever you vividly imagine, ardently desire, and enthusiastically act upon will come to pass. But at this point in time, I think that saying is a little bit skewed because I don't see any major changes happening. And I know that you don't see any major changes happening. And the glass isn't half full anymore, it's half empty. And for all of you New Agers out there, you need to keep your mouth shut about all of this, tuning up your chakras, and everybody's going to be holding hands, singing Kumbaya and around the campfire. It's not going to happen. It's simply not going to happen. All of the positive thinking in the world right now, we just don't have it. We don't have the people. We don't have the people that are educated enough to even know what's going on. Some don't even know that there's anything going on, and some just don't care. And some are just so lazy that they're not going to do anything about it anyway. And others are waiting on Jesus to come back and save everyone, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. And the Christian church is not teaching and preaching the proper doctrine of preparedness to get ready for what has happened here. We've done too little, too late. Now we're suffering the consequences of our inaction. So I encourage all of you to come by the show. And as I said before, it's there it is, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, multi-streaming through Zoom and Restream on all of these different platforms. And we have many, many pages that you all can participate in and find wonderful news, which I'll be putting up on the next Zoom. I'll be putting all of those pages in the comment section for you all to visit. We have some really wonderful healing, helpful pages over there that will help you all that are in depression or stress or psychosis or having feelings of suicide. We have pages that can help you come through that and help you through that. And I can also help you through that because I've been through all of those forms of negative thinking and self-destructive thoughts. And so I've been there, done that. There's nothing you've done that I haven't done at least twice or three times. So you all take care. And David, Ray, and I will see you Monday night. And we hope all of you are there. Take care. Bye bye.